this is a video about Harari's book Homo Deus, and it's just the video is just on the introduction section, which he titles the New Human Agenda. And he starts this by telling us that thinkers really felt that famine, plague, and war would be an integral part of our imperfect nature. But in the 21st century, they've actually moved from incomprehensible and uncontrollable forces to manageable challenges. So then he says, okay, then what is going to be the new agenda? What's going to fill that void? And he says that he sees the new agenda is going to be to end death, to deliver happiness, and to upgrade humanity. And then he kind of gives us, we're going to summarize kind of all three of those and why he feels some of those things are even already on our agenda. And the first one is that why humans die, all right? And he says that basically we're looking at why death as basically technical glitches. It's the heart stops pumping blood and we flatline, all right? Another is that the main artery is clogged by fatty deposits. Another one is that cancerous cells spread into the liver. And finally, germs multiplying in the lungs. These are four major areas that cause death and what he calls, again, technical glitches. And so he says, what do we do? All right, so we propose, basically, since they're technical glitches, we propose technical solutions. So for the heart, what do we propose is that in order to get the heart beating again, is that we have medicines, we have drugs, we have implants, and we have electric shock. For the arteries, we basically have stents that we can put in and prevent the artery. And as far as the cancerous cells, we have chemo and nanotechnology to deal with the cancers. And the germs, we have antibiotics. So basically, we are already in the process of developing technical solutions for those technical problems. Let's look at the second item on the list. The second item is the happiness. And he talks about happiness, that we all want to be happy. But the challenge is that happiness seems to constantly bang up against the mysterious glass ceiling that has two pillars, all right? And one of those pillars, the psychological pillar, and it appears that with the psychological pillar, that no matter what the objective criteria, that we still can't come up with a solution. So the objective criteria, even if we're a king with our castle, with our sports car, still it's not that. That's not really satisfying. What satisfies is when the reality matches our expectations. So it has a lot to do with our expectations. The biological, on the other hand, is a little different in terms of the biological is really about our biochemistry. It's not about our economic, social, or political situation. They're just different, the happiness are but different balances of bodily sensations. All right? And we never react to events in the outside world, but only to sensations in our own bodies. The problem is that these are temporary, and they have to be temporary because we've evolved to increase our chances of survival and reproduction, to get food and mates, or it has to be temporary, or we would die if we stopped eating. Another thing is that the solution for that biochemistry is that drugs are the number one cause of crime in the world. So this biochemical pursuit of happiness is the number one cause of crime in the world, and it's a threat to our social, economic, and political order. So that the challenge in happiness, those are the challenges that we're facing. And the last one that he talks about is how basically we can increase our human power and upgrade ourself, right? And he says that there's three paths. And the first path he talks about is bioengineering, right? And in bioengineering, he says we're not going to wait for nature to natural selection to work its magic. We're going to basically create capabilities to change the DNA structure, the hormonal systems, and the brain structure. We'll rewrite the genetic code, right? We'll rewire the brain circuits, and we will alter the biochemical balances, allowing us to grow entirely new limbs. And these are some of the things that are already seeing in research. The next one that he talks about is cyborg engineering. And he says this is where we're going to see, and we already do see, the merge of organic body with non-organic devices, all right? And then we're going to provide nanorobots that will navigate the bloodstream, diagnose problems, and repair damage. The last one he talks about is engineering inorganic. And that's basically where the intelligence itself liberates itself from biology, and we are in our inorganic, sharing inorganic life. Okay, so then why do we think that this is possible? Any of these are possible. And the reason is that we have many reasons and desires for such an upgrade, and we have ways to achieve it. So those are the three areas that he feels we're really plowing forward on. And the idea is can we hit the brakes on these projects? And he says, no, we can't. And the reason he believes we can't hit the brakes is that, number one, is that nobody knows where the brakes are. All right, so we have no idea where the brakes in the system are. Number two is our economy will collapse along with our society if we were to stop the scientific research in the scientific area. And the third one is that there's no clear line that separates the concept of healing from upgrading. And so the technologies that we're using to heal are similar to the technologies needed to upgrade, so that we won't see a change.